Hey guys, so heard some distressing news, if I believe it or not, which I haven't really determined, but word on the street is that Andy has been, let's say, displeased with how a few things have turned about on the show, including his storylines, the exit of Chandler, allegedly the exit of Steven, which I thought was fairly common knowledge in a roundabout way because of the whole comics thing, whatever. And previously, the departure of Frank Darabont, which was also kind of shocking. So allegedly, part of what was going on with Chandler is that his father was trying to renegotiate how much he was going to be paid, like once he turned 18, that he wanted him, allegedly, to be paid as much as Andy and Norman, which I don't know what world he's living in. And no disrespect to Chandler, if that's true. However, if, obviously Melissa McBride is not being paid as much as they are. Obviously, Denai Guerrero is not being paid as much as Andy and Norman. I don't know about Jeffrey. I don't think he's even being paid as much as Andy and Norman. Like, they're kind of the two mains of the show, the anchors of the show, if you will. And I think his father played a dangerous game and ultimately ended up losing because they ended up killing Carl. So apparently, or allegedly, not apparently, allegedly, that was not the plan. The plan was to have Carl on for another 3 years, and then Chandler's father played hardball and lost. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if, Andy's really that upset about it to the point where he would want to leave the show. And also word on the street is that Rick was going to, quote unquote, disappear, which will leave a door for him to come back at a later date. I don't know what the hell that means or how that's going to work.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this is true or if it's not. I mean, I can believe parts of it. Some of it makes some kind of sense. It is my opinion that if this is true, which, again, I do not know, but if it is, I think that they should, 1, give Andy more money, 2, refocus the story back to Rick, and not necessarily about all-out war spread across all these communities, and 3, give Andy a producing credit, which a lot of shows do for actors. Like, you've seen it on The Office, you've seen it all going all the way back to, like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. For a show like this, I even think Bryan Cranston had producing credit for Breaking Bad. So I think if they're trying to appease him, to give him not necessarily more substance, but more focus on Rick Grimes and a producing credit, and frankly more money, he should be the highest paid person on the show. He should be paid more than Norman. He should be paid more than Jeffrey. He should be paid more than everybody because the show is about Rick Grimes, and to me that's fair. Again, I don't know how true this is or isn't, and it's weird that I'm even talking about this. I hate like those clickbaity things.
Yeah.
But it sounds very plausible, so I just wanted to talk about it because for me, and I know as hard as it was losing Carl, for me personally, if there is no Rick Grimes, I don't know how I could possibly keep watching the show.
Yeah.
And I know there's other characters and, Michonne and Carol and whatever. But for me, this show has always been, the underlying bottom line has always been Rick Grimes. And I miss him, and I notice when he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not there, I don't know how long I could really, I don't know that it would be must-see TV for me anymore at that point. So I guess that's ultimately what I really wanted to talk about. Not necessarily the rumor, but more about going forward. And going forward, I need Rick Grimes there. He's my anchor to this show.
Yeah, so there's parts of this stuff that I just flat out don't think are true at all. I think that the likelihood of Andy actually leaving the show is extremely low. Even if he is upset about what's going on, I think that if he tried to leave the show, AMC would throw a ton of money at him, and ultimately guy's got to feed his family, and I just don't see him like leaving being the star of the most popular show on TV and getting a huge pay raise like at the same time.
That's true, but
it's hard for me to imagine that.
Dave Chappelle walked away for $50 million for integrity reasons.
Yeah, I mean,
he made an integrity move. I don't know that I would walk away for $50 million for integrity reasons and it disappeared for 12 years.
There's also tenure. I mean, like, Chappelle show's on for like what, 3 years? This is like 8. I mean, there's other factors that make this a little bit different of a situation. I do believe that he's upset about Chandler leaving. I mean, that would make sense. You know, I'm sure he loved acting with him and all that kind of thing. I don't think that there's much validity in him actually leaving the show. I can't think of a successful story where they've gotten rid of the main character of a show and it like working out. I mean, can you? It just never works. I mean, I was an avid X-Files fan when it was on, and when Dave Duchovny left and they tried to bring in T-1000 guy, whatever, I don't know that actor's name, I'm sorry, whoever he is, good actor, I just don't know his name. He wasn't bad, but it's like, he's not Fox Mulder, you know? It's like, when you watch a show for 10 years, you can't just all of a sudden start caring about, like, the new guy that they bring in to try and be a central character when they get rid of the one that you've emotionally attached yourself to the last 10. So I don't think they could do that in The Walking Dead.
I think, well, they did do that on Law & Order, technically. It was equally Mariska Hargitay's show as it was Chris Maloney's, and Chris Maloney was gone after like 10 years, and I still watched it. That show has gone down tremendously gone down. They needed that character. Like, it's just so much that it doesn't make sense without him. And it's limping along, but I don't want that to happen to The Walking Dead either. I don't want it to limp along.
Same here. I don't know if I would watch, like, I don't know if I would be motivated to watch it if Rick left. Like, I mean, it just...
And for people to say, well, it's time for so-and-so's character to lead, but not everybody's a leader. Like, I would never buy Daryl being a leader.
No,
never.
Especially not now with all this stupid behavior recently.
I wouldn't buy Carol as a leader either.
Yeah.
I could maybe see Michonne leading, but again, I'm in it... My bottom line is Rick Grimes. So
absolutely. I agree. And so, like, that's, those are just kind of like my random thoughts. And I hope that none of this is true. And honestly, like, we mostly usually don't talk about like stuff like this because it usually turns out to be BS. But this one, there is some part of it, at least, that appears to be rooted in truth.
There's smatterings of truth.
Yeah.
So
the one mainly that stands out in my mind is it is true. Excuse me. That Chandler's father kind of went on like a Facebook rant right after it was announced that, and we saw it in the episode, that Carl got bit. He made a statement saying that he never trusted Scott Gimple or AMC, and that Scott Gimple fired him like 2 weeks before his 18th birthday, when he had just been told that he was supposed to be on the show for another 3 years. And he since has deleted that comment. My opinion on that is, I have no idea anything about Chandler's dad. I don't even know his name. But
Mr. Riggs.
Unless he is an entertainment attorney of some kind or like an entertainment agent, I don't think that was a great idea from a PR standpoint.
Well, not even a PR standpoint. If this is true, his first mistake was just flat out demanding equal pay to what the lead actor was getting. And like, I've seen this happen before. I actually talked to a producer friend who was talking about his own show where this newcomer, I mean, obviously Chandler was a newcomer, but this newcomer who they brought in, and they were, thinking about making her series regular, and then her dummy of an entertainment person was like, well, she needs X amount of dollars, like, straight away, otherwise we can't do it. And then they were like, okay, well, she can't do it. Yeah. And then she lost the job. So I don't know why people, like, this is Hollywood. Like, come on, man. Like, everyone's replaceable.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
except Rick Grimes.
If I was, like, in that position, I would be like, I'm not even going to do anything. I'm going to let the lawyers handle it. I'm going to tell the lawyers and my agent what I want, and I'm going to let them, like, go to work for me. Because they know all the tricks and what, studios are likely to respond to and not, right? I mean, unless you do that for a living, it's just kind it's like the difference between like representing yourself in court versus hiring a lawyer. You know what I mean? You just don't really know what you're doing.
Even then, it's like it's one thing to ask for a raise versus asking for I want to be paid the same as that guy.
That's
different. Like he should just ask for a raise. Like, well, I'm going to be 18 now, and or his father should be like, he's going to be 18. He should be paid more adult scale, whatever. Like
assuming
he wants a pay increase is not. They probably would have been like, okay, well, we'll give you the increase.
Assuming it's true that was exactly what happened. This could all be BS, but it does seem like something happened because I find it unusual that Chandler's father would be so angry about it and be so quick to
he's gonna be missing that fat check.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed bizarre to me that he even did that, and so I don't know. It's really unfortunate that this kind of drama even comes up in these shows because it's like at the end of the day they're all making a crap ton of money. Some people are making crap tons more, but they're still all making crap tons. So it's like
he went too Wild West with it. Like even with Big Bang Theory, like the cast got together first and said, "Hey, we want equal pay for our female stars," and they had a discussion about it amongst themselves first, and then it was like we're a united front. You can't just go in gunslinging all by yourself talking about I want Andrew Lincoln money. Yeah. That's a dangerous game.
It's a dangerous game.
Dangerous game.
Yeah.
Assuming that's the game that was played.
Assuming that's the game.
Again, we don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put like 10 disclaimers all over this video.
Disclaimer: we don't know.
We don't know. This could all be untrue. I honestly hope it's untrue because that's crappy if any of that happened.
I hope it's untrue in that I don't want Andy to leave until the show is over. If the show is over, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But if not, I don't want that. And then that leads me to wonder, if that is true and this is due to negotiations and money, that old man Rick scene, assuming that was one of the first things they filmed, again, I don't know. Was it supposed to be a dream or was it supposed to be reality? And then they just changed it around to fit the direction that they ultimately had to go in. I mean, it's so many questions, like my head's spinning. I really don't know. I'm left with more questions than answers at this point. But
this is a really bizarre scenario within a show where the outside sort of like business side of the show is now like really heavily influencing not just like how the show is created, but like how the fans perceive the show. It's getting complicated. It's getting egos are swelling. People are getting in legal battles. It's crazy. So
here again, if this is true, and if anybody at AMC who has any power at all is listening, which I doubt it, but if you are, number one, give Andy more money. Number two, give him a producing credit.
Don't let him leave. Please don't let him leave.
Give him a producing credit. Let him have some say and control in what's happening. And number three, make this about Rick Grimes again. Make him the bottom line as to what the hell is going on in the show. Like, All Out War is great, but let's bring it back to Rick and how Rick is going to move forward and what Rick is going to do, because that is the baseline.
It is significantly more about Rick this season than it was last season. I will say that. I mean, like, he's been in pretty much every episode. He's had a huge role in every episode. The only episode he really hasn't had a giant role in was the mid-season finale. But everything else was, like, basically mostly him.
Well, while that's true, but it's still been focused around the war and Negan, whatever. I think what people mean by that, or what allegedly Andy means by that, is having it more centered on how Rick is changing, what is he becoming into, what is he changing into, and I think that's going to come up more in 8B.
I feel like they're doing that, but apparently, some people are upset. I mean, we've already seen a couple things happen that are going to massively change Rick's character, and seen him have to react to.
True.
I mean, like accidentally killing a baby's father and having to rescue the baby, and then
maybe instead of seeing him give like a massive speech to someone, let's see Rick with some one-on-ones with people and talking about what he thinks, what he feels. Maybe that's what he means.
I do miss that. That is one thing that I feel like the show doesn't do enough of anymore. Is they've kind of lost like those one-on-one, like deep, intimate moments with the characters.
Yeah, let's talk about something not Negan or the war.
Yeah, so that's the only like criticism I would really have of the show at this point. But whatever. What do I know? I
suspect that when it comes back, that Rick and Michonne are gonna have a long conversation about children, about Carl, about hopefully Andre finally. And, maybe we'll get some more of that in the tail end of this season. So we'll see.
Anything else?
Do anything necessary to keep Andy on that show.
All right, on that note, if you guys like our content, please make sure to subscribe right up here. Also, follow us on Instagram at @RLRichonne, and please check out the brand new blog, TheLivingRichonne.blog, where we talk about stuff like this and lots of other stuff in the entertainment industry. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.